Roger Smith is television's most indestructible disaster. This gray alien sociopath has survived situations that would instantly kill any normal life form. He drinks himself into oblivion daily, throws himself into deadly scenarios for entertainment, and somehow always walks away to scheme another day. The show never explains his apparent immortality, leaving us to wonder if Roger possesses some alien superpower, or if he's just the universe's most twisted miracle. What makes Roger's survivals even more fascinating is how casual he is about cheating death. He doesn't seem surprised by his invincibility, almost like he expects to survive everything. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most outrageous times Roger should have died, but somehow didn't. Number 10 takes us to Roger's casual drug experimentation using Stan's emergency EpiPen. After Stan entrusts Roger with his life-saving medication, designed to prevent fatal allergic reactions, Roger decides to inject himself with it purely for the adrenaline rush. He uses up Stan's life-saving medication as a recreational drug. When Stan later has a severe allergic reaction, there's no EpiPen left to save him. But here's what makes this survival so curious. Roger survived injecting epinephrine directly into his system for no medical reason. That level of adrenaline should have caused immediate cardiac arrest in any normal being, but Roger just described it as feeling amazing. This wasn't just reckless, it was medically suicidal. At number 9, we witness one of the most disturbing survivals in the series involving Roger having his skin and limbs entirely removed. This isn't just painful, it's biologically impossible to survive. Without skin, you lose the ability to regulate temperature and prevent infection. Without limbs, you lose massive blood volume and go into fatal shock. What's curious about Roger's survival here is that he somehow not only survives complete dismemberment, but presumably regenerates everything. This goes beyond alien resilience into pure cartoon physics territory. The fact that he can casually regrow from what amounts to being completely disassembled shows just how disconnected he is from normal biological limitations. Number 8 brings us to Roger's demonstrated ability to breathe in water in certain situations, suggesting his respiratory system defies basic biology. Drowning is one of the most common ways to die, but Roger casually adapts to underwater environments. This isn't just holding his breath. He's actively processing water through his system like it's air. What's particularly curious about this survival skill is how Roger, someone who already drinks enough alcohol to kill a horse, can add water breathing to his skill set. It seems almost unfair to every other living creature on the planet. At number 7, Roger's incredible fire resistance has been showcased multiple times throughout the series. He survives being set ablaze without serious injuries, treating restaurant fires like minor workplace hazards. Fire burns at temperatures that destroy organic tissue instantly, yet Roger's only concern seems to be the surprise of discovering a new ability. What's curious about these fire survivals is how Roger walks away with nothing more than slightly darker skin. Restaurant fires burn hot enough to collapse buildings and kill trained firefighters, but being engulfed in flames should have been the end of Roger's story. Instead, he treats it like a spa treatment. Number 6 takes us back to Roger's first meeting with Stan at Area 51, where grenades were thrown into the room during his escape attempt. Roger managed to push Stan into a chute to save him, but that means Roger himself was in the blast radius of military-grade explosives. Grenades are designed to kill through shrapnel and concussive force, yet Roger survived a close-range detonation well enough to continue his escape. What's curious about this survival is how Roger could think enough to save Stan's life while explosives were going off around him. This shows incredible durability and reflexes that shouldn't exist in any normal life form. At number 5, perhaps Roger's most impressive ongoing survival is against his drinking habits. He consumes alcohol at a rate that would cause severe liver damage, brain damage, and death in any normal organism. He's regularly shown drinking throughout the day, mixing different types of alcohol, and consuming amounts that would constitute fatal poisoning. His blood alcohol content should be permanently lethal, yet he functions well enough to maintain hundreds of different personas and complex schemes. What's curious about this chronic survival is how Roger not only stays alive, but remains mentally sharp enough to execute elaborate plans. The fact that he can seamlessly switch between personas while intoxicated suggests his brain processes alcohol completely differently than humans. This ongoing survival against chronic substance abuse is perhaps his most quietly impressive feat, especially considering he's been drinking at this rate for decades without any apparent long-term consequences. Number 4 brings us to Roger's original crash landing on Earth, which should have been instantly fatal. The impact forces, the heat from atmospheric entry, and the trauma of the crash itself should have killed him on contact. Instead, he was conscious enough to be adopted by a human family and lived with them for years. What's curious about this survival is that it suggests Roger has been cheating death since his very first appearance on the planet, making survival his longest-running character trait. Most beings don't survive their introduction to Earth's atmosphere, but Roger made it look effortless. At number 3, Roger's most scientifically impossible survival involves floating in the vacuum of space without any protection. Human beings would die within seconds from decompression, blood boiling, and oxygen deprivation. Even with alien physiology, the fact that Roger can casually hang out in space like he's taking a stroll through the park defies all logic. What's curious about this space survival is Roger's casual attitude toward the most dangerous environment in the universe. Space is actively hostile to life, but Roger treats it like a minor inconvenience. This shows just how removed he is from normal survival instincts. Number 2 showcases Roger's ability to fake the death of his personas, revealing his superhuman survival skills. He's shown staging elaborate scenarios that would kill a normal person, moving at superhuman speeds while creating these fake deaths. The fact that he can convincingly fake death means he understands exactly what death looks like and knows he can survive what would kill others. What's curious about this meta-survival ability is that Roger doesn't just survive by accident. He actively manipulates deadly situations to his advantage. This suggests a level of control over mortality that goes beyond luck. And at number 1, the most psychologically devastating survival involves Roger's apparent immortality. In one particularly dark moment, Roger traps the Smith family in a video game to keep them alive forever because he's terrified of outliving them. This implies that Roger is aware of his immortality and sees it as a curse rather than a blessing. He's watched his adopted fur trapper family die of natural causes while he remained unchanged. What's most curious about this ultimate survival is the psychological impact of watching everyone you care about die while you continue living. This should have driven him to despair, but Roger keeps going. The emotional weight of immortality would crush most beings, yet Roger somehow compartmentalizes this trauma and continues his chaotic lifestyle. This isn't just surviving physical death. It's surviving the emotional death of losing everyone you've ever cared about, making it the most haunting entry on our list. Roger's survival record reads like a checklist of impossible scenarios. He survived space, fire, dismemberment, explosions, drowning, massive trauma, and chronic substance abuse. His immortality isn't explained by the show, it's just accepted as part of his character. In a way, Roger's invincibility reflects the show's complete rejection of realistic consequences. He exists in a world where actions don't have permanent results, where death is always reversible, and where the most destructive behaviors are just set up for the next joke. Roger doesn't just survive the impossible, he thrives in it, making him the perfect embodiment of American Dad's surreal, consequence-free universe. Whether he's truly immortal or just impossibly lucky, one thing is certain. Roger Smith will continue to cheat death while we watch in amazement and horror. What do you think is Roger's most impossible survival? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more cartoon breakdowns like this one.